Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing fantastic out there, and appreciate you guys stopping by. Miami Dolphins getting into the swing of things for this practice week. Monday Night Football against the Tennessee Titans, and some injuries that the Dolphins have to be certainly concerned about. Not just the obvious one of Skylar Thompson, who is dealing with ribs but was limited in practice. Seeing some of the videos that the reporters have put out there, saw one from Omar Kelly that looked rough, that did not look like he was in a lot of comfort. And Mike McDaniel made this point today that it's not even so much about pain tolerance. It's like, could he effectively go out there? You know, and even some people were theorizing with his injury, you know, was he hurt the drive beforehand? And did that affect him the next time around? Because like the hit where he went out, it didn't look like the most violent thing in the world. I mean, you never know on a football field, but and then certainly like the struggles that he seemed like he had healthy as it was. Do you really want to send a guy out there who's got that concern with him, you know? And so Mike McDaniel kept it close-ish to the vest today when it came to his QB decision. I got the read on it, you know, kind of just through the tea leaves of like him speaking. And I kind of felt like he was leaning Tyler Huntley. I think the reporters who were there feels like that they're leading Snoop Huntley, and that's the way they're going to go. I think that's the right decision. And, you know, nothing against Tim Boyle. But I think we all just want to see what the ceiling is, or what the things that he can do out on the field. He's just kind of proven it a little bit more than Tim Boyle has. And Tim Boyle like looked okay, you know, probably should have had a touchdown pass to Durham Smythe, put it up where a player could make a play. But I think my read on it, and it's just a guess, what the hell do I know? I'm not doing this without any insight. I'm just listening to Mike McDaniel's presser, what the players are saying, what the vibe was apparently from practice. Feels like the Miami Dolphins are going in the direction of Tyler Huntley. And I feel like with this Miami Dolphins team being where it's at right now, I just feel the whole point of bringing them in, right? If you're not going to go and make a move, and you're not going to go get the list that guys of Adam Schefter's, I don't blame you, you know, because you're in this spot where it's 4 weeks. The Miami Dolphins are in a position to survive right now. That's what they want. Can the Dolphins basically get out of these next 3 weeks treading water? Can you get 2-1 by any means? Is it possible? You know, I don't even think it's great to look at the records of the other team right now. We kind of did that last week, and we were like, the Miami Dolphins got a challenge with the Seahawks, but it's the strongest of a weak batch of 4 games, and the Dolphins couldn't even get in the end zone. And the Miami Dolphins have really, really, really struggled this year. You guys know the stats out there already. No leads, down double digits every single game. So what can you really lean on? What are the Miami Dolphins? What are the things they can rely on going into each game? They don't have a quarterback. They got a banged up offensive line. Seems like Teron Armstead is still in the protocol. Didn't practice today, though he doesn't usually practice. I guess today would be the equivalent of a Wednesday, even though it's a Thursday. Kendall Fuller also banged up. Storm Duck, he's limited with a shoulder injury. Saron Neal, he didn't practice, had a hamstring injury. David Long, he's hurt. So the Dolphins are, you know, banged up. Raheem Mostert, haven't had him be effective so far this season, hadn't missed a couple of games. Maybe we get the start of Malik Washington. But even in this game, not just with quarterback, the Miami Dolphins have some big-time things and gaps they got to fill. As far as the offensive line is concerned, you know, hearing Mike McDaniel today, it sounds like my read on him today was he is in a spot where he tried to go safe route last week, and it really bit him in the ass. I think he's willing to roll the dice a little bit more on some X factors. And so when Teron Armstead goes down or somebody goes down, should you just go young there, or do you go with Old Faithful and Kendall Lamb? And I think that that's kind of bit him in the ass. I don't know if Kendall's played quite up to what he has last year, although he's had to come into some tough spots. They had to play 3-card Monty with the tackles during that game. I know the Dolphins haven't really done business like this lately of just playing guys because of their draft status. We know this with, Cam Smith last year. Channing Tindall gets DNP'd every single week, basically. But, man, I don't think we've seen anything from Patrick Paul from just the preseason that suggests he can't play. I don't understand if you're going to have a quarterback out there who at least can run in Tyler Huntley. Theoretically, isn't this the perfect opportunity to get the kid's feet wet? Like, especially, you don't want anybody treated like a crash dummy, but if your franchise quarterback, your $167 million quarterback's not back there anyway, you're essentially doing this with practice squad guys. Why not have Patrick Paul go out there and get some reps and get some action? And then for me, I just think the Tim Boyle thing is what it should be, which is if something goes wrong with Tyler Huntley, okay, Tim Boyle, go do what you did the last game. Try and march him down the field and maybe something will happen for you. But let's be real about it, dude. The guy hasn't done anything in his NFL career. And if this is going to be based off of knowing all the X's and O's more pristinely, Mike McDaniel said something today that was pretty interesting. And I thought he had his mojo back a little bit today, old Mike McDaniel. This was a literal and beaten man on Monday or Tuesday, whenever he spoke Tuesday. But he also he looked rough. Like he had been falling asleep in the film room and, up till 3 a.m, just probably like groggy-eyed, trying to figure this thing out. But when he said something today about the players, right? And he was talking about the idea that when he's trying to evaluate this, he doesn't just ask, and that he kind of goes for, I'm paraphrasing here, but it basically is like you kind of just feel it. Who is the team responding to more? And I just got a feeling they're going to respond to Snoop Huntley more. If this was him versus Skyler, maybe that's a different competition. Maybe that's a different measure. Maybe that's a different vibe. So Mike McDaniel talked about who he's going with, and this to me spoke a little bit more on how you could just tell. I feel like he's leaning to go with Tyler Huntley.
The strongest statement that I think teammates can make, asking them is nice, but I'm also the head coach, and generally players are not trying to overly plateau one way or another with their teammates, because they're good guys and they love all of them. But what I like to lean into is what I see through all sorts of nuances when 11 people play football. You can just tell is the best way that I can explain it when guys are believing in the signal caller to really go and do what we have to do.
So I think that's the good way to do it, is like just, it may seem like a simplistic thing, but no one's going to be a jerk. Oh, who do you like? But they're both kind of guys. Like, no one wants to do that. Maybe in like a smaller meeting setting, somebody will be more honest about that. But I just felt like that spoke to, hey, I'm not necessarily going with who's boned up the best on the offense. First of all, Tim Boyle's got a slight leg up on Tyler Huntley, but I to me that was like, all right, who is everybody responding to better. And my guess is that's going to be Snoop. But I could be wrong. I could be here and Tim Boyle could be suiting up as QB1 on Monday. I'll look like an idiot. Or maybe Skylar Thompson has a miraculous comeback or whatnot. But yeah, I just, for me, I think it was that. He also had Tyreek Hill today, says, I love Snoop. Had the chance to hang out with him at the Pro Bowl. Tremendous guy, work ethic, real quiet for me. I've been watching film of him since he got here. And I'm like, this dude can make every throw. He is special with his legs. He is a special talent. The only thing, we've got to get a lot of things that go into this offense. We got motions. We've got to get the play out. And so he's done a good job of staying in the film room and learning that stuff. I'm excited to see if him or Tim Boyle goes. It should be fun. So I do think Cheetah also mentioned today, was it that he said, I work with Tim Boyle, so I don't know. Like I said, Tim Boyle was out there throwing. They even had Jalen Waddle throwing. So I think he said, we are in the process of looking for anyone who can throw open applications. And Cheetah, I'm usually here for your trolling, but, not today, dude. Not in the mood. Not in the mood in the least. And, yeah. Let's hope. And it's one of these things, too, where, again, Snoop, Skylar, Tim Boyle, I do think the Dolphins have deeper-rooted issues than just this backup quarterback spot. I chose to believe in Skylar Thompson. I look a fool. After that, I look stupid. And I think that's what's got everybody kind of scrambling, because the Dolphins have just been in this spot. I don't want to reiterate everything, but everything that you feared could go wrong kind of has. It has gone wrong right now. They are in a Murphy's Law hamster wheel right now. Shout out to my boy Robbie the Degenerate. He would call this the old Dolphins cycle of doom. That's what this feels like right now. So the good thing is, if they can pull this off, then you could just say, all right, you're 500. It's not catastrophic. You go to 1-3, you're swimming with your QB not coming back for at least 2 weeks or 2 games. It feels like you're going to be swimming upstream a little bit, and especially the way the other 2 teams have gotten off to in the division, you're going to be in a hell of a climb. But if you can maintain, if you can lay in the weeds, and one of those teams has a bleep up, you're right there with them. So it's critical, and I think pride-wise, the Dolphins got to play cleaner, got to play better, and it may not guarantee anything because you're still going at this thing, without your full deck, and especially without your QB and a quarter, and seemingly either a banged up. Your options are a banged-up quarterback, a quarterback that has had a really, really rough go of it in his NFL career, or a quarterback who's been here for 3 seconds. None of them good options. Which will, I think, if they're able to pull off the win, even if it is against the lowly Tennessee Titans. They ruined your season last year. I just think that it will give the Dolphins a little sense of relief. I don't think any Dolphin fan is going to come out of that game feeling froggy. I don't think anybody's going to come out of that game feeling like they're back. But right now, it feels like they're teetering. They're teetering on the brink, and they need to be able to pull themselves back off the cliff a little bit and be able to gather themselves. And that's the importance of this game on Monday night.